The first time my sister begged me for money after I cut her off, I didn't raise my voice. I just forwarded one screenshot and watched the whole family go silent. It started with a child's birthday, a sheet cake, and one pretty box that my daughter never got to open. My mom's living room smelled like vanilla frosting and lemon cleaner. The streamers were already drooping, the cartoon on the TV was too loud, and every cousin was vibrating from sugar like tiny hummingbirds. My daughter Calla sat cross-legged on the rug in her sunflower dress, hands folded the way we practiced. Polite, patient, trying so hard to be easy. That's what my family calls her. Easy, sweet, low maintenance. It's never a compliment. Calla reached for a gift wrapped in pale green paper with a satin ribbon tied into a perfect bow. A little tag hung off the knot. To Calla, from Aunt Sloan and Waverly. My sister's voice cut through the room before Calla could even touch the ribbon. "Oh, wait, let me," Sloan said, bright and performative, like she was hosting a game show. I felt that sharp, familiar warning in my chest, the one that says, don't react, don't make it worse, don't give them a reason. Calla slid a finger under the ribbon anyway. Just a tiny, careful motion, and Sloan leaned forward and simply took the box out of her hands. Just like that, like she was rescuing it. She tore the wrapping in one loud rip. Paper flew onto Calla's lap. My mom's smile didn't move, but her eyes did. She watched Sloan, not my daughter, the way people watch fireworks and forget the ground beneath them. Inside the box was a child-friendly instant camera, the kind that prints a photo right away. Not a toy, not cheap. The exact one Calla had circled in the store flyer and taped on our fridge with a star sticker. She'd whispered about it for weeks. How she'd take pictures of our cat yawning, of clouds shaped like dinosaurs, of my face when I thought nobody was looking. Sloan held the camera up like a trophy and turned it slowly so everyone could see. Then she smiled. Honestly, Calla won't even know what to do with this. The room did that awful little pause, the one where adults decide what kind of people they're going to be in the next 5 seconds. My niece Waverly bounced on her toes. "Can I have it, please? I'll actually use it." My mom nodded immediately, frosting knife still in her hand like she was passing a verdict. "Waverly has better taste," she said, not quietly, not kindly. "You know Calla, she's simple." Simple. My daughter's face changed in the smallest way, like a page corner bending. Her smile didn't drop all at once. It folded. Her hands slid off her lap and tucked under her thighs, like she didn't deserve space. I heard a plastic fork crack. Only then did I realize it was in my grip. Sloan laughed, and the room followed her like trained dogs. Someone said, "Kids, right?" Like that fixed it. Like it was a joke that had simply landed perfectly. Sloan put the camera back into the box, but the box didn't go back to Calla. It went to Waverly. Smooth, fast, like a card trick. My body stood up on instinct, heat rushing to my face. Then I sat back down just as quickly. I pressed my knees together under the table. I counted backward in my head. I swallowed the taste of metal. Don't ruin her birthday. Don't make her the reason adults start fighting. Don't teach her that love comes with shouting. "Sure," I said. The word came out soft. Wrong, like it belonged to somebody else. Calla looked up at me, eyes wide but dry, like she was holding in water with sheer will. I forced my mouth into something that resembled a smile. "We'll take pictures later," I told her. She nodded too quickly, like she was agreeing to survive. She reached for the next gift, tissue paper. A coloring set. Someone's card slid out and I saw the name scratched over, rewritten like an afterthought. I pretended not to notice. Calla pretended too. That's our special skill. I cut the cake. I handed out plates. I refilled cups. I hugged my mom when she patted my arm and said, "See, she's fine." I watched my sister take photos of Waverly holding the camera like it had always been hers, and inside my head, something calm clicked into place. That night, after Calla fell asleep with her cheeks still sticky from frosting, I stood alone in my kitchen. The house was quiet except for the low hum of the fridge. My phone sat on the counter, face up, like it was waiting for me to either explode or choose. I didn't text anyone. I didn't post anything. I didn't even cry. I called my accountant. He answered like he knew it was serious. "Hey, everything okay?" I looked at the smear of icing on my thumb and felt how steady my voice was. "Cancel the standing orders." A pause, a keyboard click. "Which one?" I stared at the list in my head the way you stare at a stain you've ignored for too long. My mom's monthly payment, my sister's childcare autopay, the family phone plan I'd kept on my card because it's easier, and you make the most, and we're family. I thought about the vacation I paid for where Calla pushed a stroller while Waverly rode twice. I thought about the emergency grocery texts that always arrived right after I got paid. I thought about my mom's spare key on her ring like it was her right. "All 3, I said. His voice lowered. "All 3. All 3, I repeated. He didn't ask why. He didn't lecture. He just said, "Okay," like I'd finally said something that made sense. "I'll send the authorization." When I hung up, I opened my banking app. My thumb hovered over the schedule like it was a trap wired to guilt. I removed my sister as an authorized user first. A little pop-up asked if I was sure. The wording was almost funny, like the bank was worried I'd miss being used. I took a screenshot before I tapped yes. Then I removed my mom. Another screenshot. I canceled the transfers. The neat lines disappeared one by one, and the blank space that replaced them didn't feel like loss. It felt like air. Then I ordered the same camera for Calla, overnight shipping, and paid for gift wrap even though it was absurd, because she deserved one day that didn't require her to shrink. I put my phone on the charger and turned it face down, like a closed door. By morning, it was vibrating so much it sounded angry. My mom, my sister, unknown numbers, voicemails stacking like bricks, 17 missed calls before lunch. On the 18th, I picked up. I stepped onto the back porch so Calla Kala wouldn't hear the ringtone. The sun was already hot, the kind of heat that makes the world feel too bright to lie. My sister didn't even say hello. "What is wrong with you?" Sloan snapped. "The camp says the payment didn't go through. I'm standing here like an idiot, and Mom's phone got shut off for a little while. Do you understand how humiliating that is? Fix it. Now." Her words hit me like they always used to, like a hand reaching automatically for my wallet. But something had changed. The hand reached, and there was nothing there. I let her talk. I let her run out of breath. I listened to the rage underneath the panic, the assumption underneath the demand. Finally, I said very calmly, "My money isn't a family tradition." Silence. Then she laughed, sharp and disbelieving. "Oh my God, you're doing this over a camera?" I pictured Kala's face folding. I pictured my mom's nod. I pictured Waverly running through the room while my daughter sat perfectly still, learning exactly where she ranked. "It wasn't the camera," I said. "It was the way you took it and the way everyone clapped." Sloane's voice turned syrupy, which is always her warning sign. "So you're punishing my kid. I'm protecting mine. You're acting like you're better than us," she hissed. I looked back through the sliding door. Kala was at the kitchen table drawing pancakes with little faces, humming to herself like she was trying to stay light. I kept my voice level. "No, I'm acting like a mother." My sister went quiet again, and I heard something in the background. My mom's voice, close to the phone, feeding her lines like a ventriloquist. Then Sloane said slower, meaner, "Mom says you owe her. She says you wouldn't exist without her sacrifices. She says you don't get to suddenly grow a spine because your kid got her feelings hurt." My heart didn't race. It didn't need to. Because in that moment, I understood the real reason the camera mattered. It wasn't a gift. It was a test. And my daughter had failed it by not being the right kind of child for them. I took a breath. "Tell Mom she can call her lender," I said. Sloane inhaled like she was about to scream. And right then, from inside my kitchen, Kala called out, bright and innocent, "Mom, can you come see this?" I drew our cat as a superhero. My throat tightened, just once, then steadied again. I didn't hang up yet, because I realized something else too. If my family was panicking this hard over a few canceled payments, that meant they'd been counting on those payments like they were guaranteed, like they were entitled, like they were already spent. And that meant there was something I didn't know. If you're watching this and you like slow revenge stories like this, hit like. Subscribe if you want more real messy family drama with a clean ending. And if you want to support the channel, sharing helps more than you think. Alright, now let me take you back, because the very next thing my sister said told me exactly where the money had really been going, and why my mom had been so quick to choose my niece over my daughter. Sloane lowered her voice like she was about to share a secret, but the venom stayed. "Mom says you're going to regret this, because the bank is already watching, and if the payment doesn't hit, they can take the house." I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, because it was so familiar. Fear dressed up as my responsibility. "I paid that loan for years," I said. "If the bank is watching, it's because someone made it a problem." Sloane snapped. "Do you think you're so smart? Do you think you can just pull the plug and walk away clean?" "Clean," I repeated softly like I was tasting the word. Then I asked, "Why are you panicking over camp money this hard?" Silence again. Not empty silence. Calculating silence. And Sloane said too fast, "Because it's due." "No," I said, "because you already spent it." A sharp inhale. A tiny stumble, like I'd stepped on the edge of something hidden under a rug. I didn't wait for her to recover. "Send me the invoice," I said. "I want the exact amount, the exact name, and the exact due date." Sloane scoffed. "So you can judge me? So I can document you," I corrected. Still calm. "Different thing." She hung up. I walked back into the kitchen like nothing happened. I kissed Kala's hair. I admired the superhero cat. I flipped the pancakes. I acted normal, because normal is what keeps kids feeling safe. But inside, my mind was already moving like a trained machine. I opened my email. There were already messages from my accountant with the confirmations attached. I saved them in a folder labeled Receipts, then duplicated the folder and emailed it to myself from a second account, because I've learned something about people like my mom. They don't argue feelings, they argue access. Then my phone buzzed. A message from my mom. No greeting, no softness. "Turn it back on. You don't embarrass me like this." I stared at it, and something in me finally loosened, like the last tight knot had given up. I typed, "I'm not paying adult bills anymore. Please contact your lender and your provider." She replied instantly, "You're choosing that child over family." That child. My jaw clenched. I forced my shoulders down. I refused to let anger drive. I typed, "I'm choosing my daughter, yes." Then I muted her. An hour later, Dana, my cousin who always watched quietly, texted me a single line. "I'm sorry, that birthday was disgusting." Relief washed through me so hard I had to sit down. Not because I needed permission, because it meant I wasn't insane. I replied, "Thank you. I'm done funding people who treat Kala like a spare." Dana sent back, "About time." Then she added, "Also, you should check the county records." My heart did a strange little drop. County records? I stared at the message. My fingers went cold. My brain tried to find a normal explanation. Taxes, liens, paperwork. Dana sent another text. "I heard Mom bragging to Aunt Greer last month. Something about moving things around so you can't control her." I didn't answer. I didn't need to. I opened my laptop with hands that stayed steady only because they had to. I searched my mom's address in the county property database. It took seconds. A clean page, a list of filings. And there it was. A home equity line opened again. Not the one from years ago. A second draw. Recent. My mouth went dry. Then another filing, a quick claim deed. I blinked, once, hard, like I could force it to become unreadable. The deed showed my mom transferring an interest in the house to Sloane. Not fully, not enough to make her the owner. Just enough. Just enough to tie her to it. Just enough to make her feel entitled. Just enough to make my money feel like it should keep going. Because now it wasn't just helping mom. It was protecting my sister's stake. I sat there staring at the screen and felt something settle into my bones. That's why they were so casual about humiliating my daughter. Because in their heads, I wasn't family anymore. I was a payment plan. My phone rang again. Not Sloan. My mom. I let it ring until it stopped. Then she texted, "We are coming after church. Have your checkbook ready." The audacity hit me so hard it almost made me dizzy. I didn't respond. Instead, I did the quiet thing. I called a locksmith. When Kala came home from her friend's house that afternoon, I had her help me choose a new doormat online. Something bright, something silly, something that felt like our home belonged to us. She picked one with a sun and the words, "Hey, sweet pea." Then, when she was in her room, I opened my phone and went back to the property record page. I took screenshots of everything. The new draw, the deed, the dates. I emailed them to my accountant. Then I forwarded them to my attorney. Yes, I had one. I'd hired her the year I adopted Kala, because that process taught me one truth. Love is real, but paperwork is armor. My attorney replied quickly, "If your mother added your sister to the deed while you were paying the loan, that's financial exploitation. Don't say anything yet. Let them come. We'll do this clean." Clean, that word again. By the time the doorbell rang, the locks had already been changed. The spare key my mom used like a leash was worthless now. I didn't open the door right away. I looked through the peephole. My mom stood there with a casserole dish in one hand, like she thought food could disguise control. Sloan stood beside her, sunglasses on, jaw tight. My niece hovered behind them, clutching the instant camera box like it was evidence she deserved more than my daughter. Kala peeked from behind my legs. "Is that Grandma?" "Yes," I said softly. "Go to your room for a minute, okay? And take your superhero cat drawing with you." She nodded and padded away without arguing. That broke my heart in a quiet way. Kids who feel safe don't move that fast. I opened the door just a crack. My mom's smile appeared instantly, glossy and fake. "There you are," she said, like we'd been interrupted mid-conversation, and I was the rude one. "We need to talk." "We can talk here," I said. Sloan pushed forward. "Open the door. This is ridiculous." "No," I replied, still calm. "This is a boundary." My mom's eyes sharpened. "You don't get to do this. I raised you. I sacrificed everything for you. And I helped you for years," I said evenly. "We're not talking about the past. We're talking about now." Sloan laughed. "You're really committing to this little performance." My mom's voice went cold. "Turn the payments back on." "No." Her face twitched. "You are going to make me lose my home." I held her gaze. "You already risked your home when you took another draw without telling me." Sloan froze. My mom blinked, slow, like she didn't understand how I'd found out. Then my mom recovered fast, like she always does. "It was necessary," she snapped. "Your sister needed stability. And my daughter needed dignity," I said. Sloan cut in sharp. "Mom had every right. It's her house, and Mom can pay for it," I said. My mom's voice rose. "You're being cruel." I didn't flinch. "Cruel was watching you nod while my sister stole my daughter's gift." My mom scoffed like she was offended by my memory. "No one stole anything. Waverly will actually use it." The word "actually" hung in the air like poison. Sloan leaned closer, eyes bright. "Say it. Say you're jealous because my kid is smarter." My hand stayed steady on the door. My voice stayed quiet. "You put your name on the deed," I said to my mom, "while I was paying your loan." My mom's lips pressed tight. Sloan snapped. "So what? So what?" That was the moment I understood something important. They truly believed I would never stop. They truly believed I'd keep paying no matter how they treated Kala, because they'd trained me to confuse payment with love. I reached behind the door and pulled out a folder. Not dramatic, just prepared. I slid one page through the gap. My mom stared at it. Sloan leaned in. It was a printed screenshot of the county record, with the quitclaim deed highlighted. My mom's throat bobbed. Sloan's sunglasses came off so fast she nearly dropped them. "What is this?" Sloan whispered. "This," I said, "is proof." My mom tried to speak, but the words tripped. It's not like," I cut her off gently. "It is exactly like it looks." Sloan's face changed. Not guilt, panic. Because Sloan finally realized what this meant. Not morally. Practically. If my mom got desperate, Sloan's little interest in the house could become a liability. A debt. A mess that followed her. Something that didn't just vanish when she cried. And my mom realized something too. She couldn't gaslight paperwork. My mom's voice went smaller, sweeter. "Honey, we're family." I tilted my head. "Then act like it." Sloan stepped forward, voice trembling with anger. Fine. If you're going to be like this, then give us the camera back." I blinked. "What?" "The camera," she snapped. "Waverly's camera. If you're cutting us off, you don't get to keep gifts." I let the silence stretch. Then I said softly, "It was never Waverly's." My mom's eyes widened. Sloan's mouth opened, then closed. I reached into the folder again and slid another paper through the gap. A receipt. My receipt. Because I'd ordered Kala's camera the night after the party. Same model, same color, gift wrap, overnight shipping, and I'd also done one more thing that night, quietly, without rage. I'd opened the family group chat and scrolled back to the birthday planning messages. Sloan had posted days before the party. "I got Kala something big. Don't duplicate." Then later, "Actually, it might be better for Waverly. Kala won't appreciate it." Then my mom had replied with a thumbs up. I'd screenshotted that too. Sloan stared at the printed screenshot like it was a snake. My mom's face went pale. "You planned it," I said, not loud, not shaking. "You planned to take it before my daughter ever touched it." My mom whispered, "It was just practical." Practical. My chest tightened, but my voice stayed level. "Get off my porch," I said. My mom's eyes filled with tears that didn't reach her voice. "You're breaking this family." "No," I said. "You broke it the moment you decided my daughter was optional." Sloan's face twisted. "You can't do this. You can't just—" "I already did," I said. "Locks changed, accounts closed, payments ended." My mom's voice turned sharp again, desperate. "We'll tell everyone what you did." I nodded once. "Please do." Then I opened my door wider. just enough for them to see behind me. Kala stood in the hallway holding her new instant camera, fingers wrapped around it like it was fragile and sacred. She lifted it carefully, aimed it at the doorway, and clicked. The little photo printed out with a soft whir. Kala looked down at it, then up at my mom and my sister, and with the calmest voice, like she was reading a label, she said, "Now I know what to do with it."